Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. It's been a while. I don't think I've actually done one this year, one of my everyday makeup videos. So today we've got some Chanel, we've got some Hermes, and a little bit of Dior as well. So as usual, all my skincare is done for the morning, and normally about 10 or 15 minutes before I start a video, I do put on another layer of my sunscreen, but I thought I would put it on during the video today, and then I'll just take a 10-minute break before I start the rest of it. So I've showed you this before, and I talk about this sunscreen a lot, but this is the one that I use. I've been using this for about 3 years now. I think it's a Japanese sunscreen. Yes, it is made in Japan. It is the Canmake. It's the Mermaid Skin Gel UV SPF 50. You can either pick this up via Amazon or from YesStyle, and I always have it linked in my description box below. I love this sunscreen. It is just beautiful. I'll show you the texture of it on the back of my hand. And it's really just like skincare, just putting on a very light moisturizer on. Now when I put it on, when I finish my skincare as my last step, I do use 1/4 teaspoon just on my face alone. I wear this every single day, 365 days a year, whether it's winter or summer, whether it's cloudy, and definitely obviously when it's sunny as well. It's really beautiful. And it goes really well under my eyes. It's beautifully moisturizing. And if you wanted to skip using a primer, you could use this as your primer. It really does give a beautiful base. Now, because I have oily skin, I always use a primer, unless sometimes when I'm testing out a foundation. But it is just really, really beautiful. And I haven't found another sunscreen as good yet. And this is also really reasonably priced. I think I pay around about somewhere between, it depends what specials YesStyle has got going, but round about between 18 and 20 New Zealand dollars a tube. So when I buy it, I usually buy about 8 at once. Because I use so much sunscreen, I go through about one of these tubes about every 2 weeks. And I was just having a look, this has 40 grams of product. So I'm just gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes and then we'll put on the primer. So for the primer today, I'm going to use one of my favorite ones, and this was released last year, and this is the Chanel one. This is the Perfecting Makeup Primer. I've nearly finished this one, but I have bought a backup. It's really beautiful. It's definitely a primer that I would not be without. It's really lovely. I'm just trying to get the very last bit from the tube, and that's about how much I pop on. And because I have oily skin, I do put this all over my face, but I don't put it under my eyes. And even though it says it's mattifying, it's not this hard, flat, matte base. It definitely feels, it's got this great combination of being mattifying, but also moisturizing as well. It's just beautiful. Now this does have a fragrance, in case there's any of you that don't like fragrance in their products. And for foundation today, it is a Chanel one. I don't think I've showed this to you on any of my videos yet. This isn't a new foundation. And I am going to be buying the full-size product of this. It's just that a little while ago, when I asked for a sample of it, my SA gave me about, was at least 4 sample sizes, and this is the second tube that I'm about to go through, so I've still got a couple left. But when I have used them up, I will be buying the full-size product. Now this is the Sublimage, this is the Le Teint. Now this isn't to be confused with this one that I have reviewed on my channel. This is the Sublimage, the Essence de Teint, and this one is a lighter coverage than this one, and I would say this one is more, it's even more glowy than this foundation here. Now this foundation comes in a jar, and it also comes with a brush as well. With this Sublimage foundation, I'll just grab the brush that it came with. This is the brush that came with this foundation. Now with this one here, when you buy the full-size product, it also comes with that brush, but it's a different shape. I think I'll put a picture of it if I remember while I'm editing. The brush it's the same sort of design, it has the gold ferrule here, but I think the brush is more angled. Now these brushes are quite dense, but they are really soft. They are really lovely brushes. Now this foundation has got fragrance in it. It is made in France, and I imagine the full size is the same. They say that the sample has a shelf life of 6 months from date of opening. Maybe the full size is a little bit more. And the amount of product that the full-size one has, I'll just look it up, because with the Sublimage one, there was a little bit more than the standard 30 mils. This has 40 mils of product. And this one, the full-size product, that has 30 mils. Now, they say that this is a creamy texture, offers light to medium coverage, and I would agree with that, for a glowing, healthy, and luminous look. It's not quite as luminous, as I was saying, as the Sublimage, the Essence one, but it does still give a luminous look to the skin. This is really pretty. And just like with other Sublimage products, the main ingredient that they talk about in this one is the vanilla planifolia, and this smells just like other Sublimage products. So if you've used other Sublimage products, this has the same type of scent in it. So I'll just squeeze out a little bit on the back of my hand. That is the consistency of it. It is quite thick, and it's not even running down my hand. Now, even though it is a bit thicker, the formula, when you put it on, it doesn't feel heavy at all. It just feels really beautiful. And I've just put out a little pump of the Sublimage, the Essence, so you can see them side by side. So with the Essence, you can see it just starting to run down my hand, whereas the Sublimage Le Teint, that is just stain put. Now, both of these are in the shade 30, and that's what I normally use in a Chanel foundation. So I've just wiped the Sublimage Essence off, because I don't want to get the two foundations mixed up putting it on. So I'm going to take a Sonia G brush and just pick up a little bit. Now, I find this one, you can have a really beautiful light coverage if you want to, and you can build it up towards a medium finish. It's not what I would call a strong medium finish though, but it does give a really beautiful look to the skin. I think this is really flattering on my mature skin. It also works really well with my oily skin. I have worn this over the summer and found that it possibly wears a little bit better for me with my oily skin over summer than the Essence foundation. And that's because even though it has got a slight luminosity to it, it's not as luminous as the Essence, and that's why it just wears just that little bit better with my oily skin in the summer months. But in saying that, I really like the Sublimage Essence. That is a beautiful foundation, and I was able to wear that through the summer as well. Perhaps just had to powder it a little bit more. So what I normally do is just put one light layer on. I'll do the other side in a minute. And then with a little bit of foundation that's left over, I just put a little bit extra just through here, just to get that little bit more coverage. And then finally, I just pick up the rest that's on my hand. There's only a little bit of foundation left. And I just press it just through here, just to get that little bit of extra coverage. But this is what it looks like all applied, and the finish is just really beautiful. It really becomes one with your skin, and I think that the Sublimage foundations are exceptional. I think they are super flattering on mature skin and just look just seamless. So next I'm going to put on concealer, and I'm going to use the Chanel, the Sublimage one. This is a beautiful concealer, definitely one of my favorite ones. This is in 30, and when I get another one of these, because I definitely will, whether it will run out, I'm not sure whether, because you do get a huge amount of product with this, or it's one where I just have to replace because it expires, but at the moment it's still lasting really beautifully. But I have tried the shade, it is 32 in the concealer, and I am considering picking up that. The shade 32 has a little bit more of a peachiness to it, so as well as concealing, which this does a beautiful job of, it also does a little bit of correcting as well. So I'm just going to grab a concealer brush. I'm going to grab the BK Beauty, this is the Angie Hot and Flashy one, and just blend this through. And then once I've done that, then I just go over with my finger and just tap it in. So I'm just going to let that concealer sit while I just put some eyeshadow primer on and do my eyebrows. The eyeshadow primer, this is the NARS one. I picked this up, I think it was late last year, and it was the first time that I had tried it, and I absolutely love it. It is a fabulous eyeshadow base, especially with my oily skin. For eyebrows, I'm going to use the Chanel one. This is in the shade Bronze Clear. I love the shade. And I also really like this eyebrow pencil as well. It stays put and doesn't wear throughout the day. It really just stays put until the end of the day when I go to wash all of my makeup off. And to keep my unruly eyebrows in place, I use the Benefit, this is the 24-hour brow setter. I also use the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. I usually go between the two different ones. But there was a Sephora sale here in New Zealand that was last week, so I picked up a couple of backups of this since there was 20% off. So for powder under my eyes, I always use, this is the Westman Atelier, this is the Vital Press Skincare Powder, and I just press a tiny bit on, just using my finger. And I've spoken about it before, but the reason why I love this powder so much is because even though it's really not suitable for the rest of my face with my oily skin, under your eyes, especially when you have mature skin, you want to keep them moisturized, but then I also want to set my concealer as well. So the Westman Atelier, that has skincare ingredients in it. So it has humectants in it. So it sets the concealer, but doesn't dry my under eyes out, and that's why I just love it so much. To set the foundation down, I'm going to use the Chanel, this is the Natural Finish Loose Powder. This is in translucent. I did have one in 30, but I used that all up last year, and I'm going to be doing an order with Chanel. I did one a little while ago, but I need to do another order as well, and when I do, I'm going to be getting the shade 30. And for bronzer today, I'm going to use the Hermes one. I have this in two different shades. The shade I'm going to use today is 02 Atlas. I also have the one in 03. I don't really prefer one over the other. I just swap between them. This is more lighter, and I feel like just having a more lighter touch of bronzer today. I'm going to use a Sonia G brush and just pop just a little bit of this on just to give a really beautiful subtle warmth. And then for eyeshadow today, I'm going to use an Hermes one. Now when these were released last year, I didn't pick them up for quite a while because they are quite pricey, these eyeshadows. When I went overseas last year to the USA, I was with my friend Liz from Chicago Law Luxury Makeup, and she had one of the Hermes eyeshadow palettes, and I borrowed it and used it, and I was converted. And so I bought that same color story when I got back to New Zealand, and I've also bought two more since. And each time I do an order now at Smith & Coe's, it's a luxury department store in Auckland, I also add one of the Hermes eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to get them all. That's how much I love them. This would have to be one of my favorite formulas. They are beautifully pigmented, and they just last all day. They are just gorgeous. Now the one that I'm going to put on today, it's number 06, and it is just a beautiful, beautiful color story. At first I wasn't too sure because of this shade here. I didn't want it to look too red on my eyes, but altogether it is just beautiful, really gorgeous color story. So I'll swatch this on the back of my hand so you can take a look. So this is swatch from left to right and top to bottom. So first two top shades, which are shimmers, and then we have the two mattes. It's a really beautiful colour story. So I'm going to take Sonji, this is the Classic Crease, and I'm going to start off with this shade here. Now in these palettes, they tend to have, there's one pop of colour. So in this palette, this is the pop of colour, and it really is beautiful. So I'm going to take it through the crease and up on my brow bone as well. These shadows just blend so beautifully. They just blend beautifully out. You can get a beautiful soft wash of colour if you want to, but the pigment is definitely there if you want just a more sort of dramatic look as well. Then I'm going to take the Sonji, this is the Worker 3, and I'm going to go into the deepest shade here, and I'm going to pop that on the outer corner, and I'm going to tap it through onto my brow bone as well. Then I'm going to take the Rapper number 3, I'm going to stay with this dark shade, and I'm going to run this under my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the Rapper 02, go into the lightest shade here, and I'm going to put that over the rest of my lid. And now I've just wiped down the Rapper 3 brush, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner, and I'm also going to take a little bit of it through onto my lower lash line as well, just through towards in the middle. And instead of using an eyeliner, I'm going to use the darker shadow in here just to give some definition to my upper lid. So just using this brush, which is soft but really dense, just push that shadow into the lash line. Next, I'm going to take, this is the Guerlain, this is the eyelash primer. I've had this for about 3 or 4 weeks now, and I've been putting it on before I put on my mascara, and I think it gives great added volume to my lashes. You can also pop this on at night as well for a mask for your eyelashes, because it has really beautiful nourishing ingredients in it as well. So I just pop on a couple of layers. I do one lash, then I go over to the other side, and then I just go back and quickly go over. This is not a step that probably everyone wants to do, and I don't use it every single day, but I've used it nearly every day. So if you have some time just to add into your routine, I think this is definitely worth it, especially if you're like me and you haven't got the longest of lashes or the thickest of lashes. I think this really helps. And even if you buy it just for times, maybe when you're going out, just for more special occasions. I used to have the Chanel one, and I really like that, but since this was a new release from Guerlain, I thought I would give this a try, and I really like it. I think it does make a difference with my lashes. And for mascara today, I'm going to use the MacStack. I really like this mascara. This gives really great volume, and you can also layer it. I also really like the brush on this. I'll hold it up so you can take a look, but it is quite a spiky brush, and it's good. It really grips the lashes. This is the second MacStack that I've purchased. I think I picked it up last year, and I was just waiting to finish some of the others that I already had opened. But this is a really, really good mascara. I don't find that it transfers or gives you panda eyes. It's really good. And for blush today, I'm going to use the Chanel number 1. This is the Lip and Cheek Balm. Earlier this year, they came out with 3 new shades. I picked up all 3. And the one I'm going to use today, and it is Vibrant Coral. So it does look very vibrant in the pot. It is a really beautiful colour. And it applies quite sheer if that's what you want. I'm going to use this on a G. This is the sheer buffer, and just tap into there just very lightly, and just pop a little bit of this balm on. But I love the shade of this. I think it is really, really beautiful. Now you can go a lot more pigmented than this if you want to, but I just tend to go just a little bit at a time because I love the shade, but I just don't want it too much on my cheeks. But the shade itself is just beautiful. And I really like these lip and cheek balms. I don't really wear them on my lips so much, but I like them on my cheeks. And I don't find them sticky at all. It's not like if I'm out in the wind and with my hair it'll stick to my cheeks. They don't feel like that. I think they are super pretty. Now I'm going to use a little bit of highlighter today as well, and I'm going to use one of the Dior Forever Glow Maximizers, and this is in the one peach. I also picked up the one in pink, and I've used them both before in a video, but I just want to add just a little bit of highlight as well. I'm only just going to put the tiniest amount on and just going to blend it out with my finger, just to give that extra bit of luminosity to my cheekbone. And then for lipstick today, I'm going to use the combo that I've used before in one of my other everyday makeup videos as well. I just can't resist. I wear this combo a lot, and it's the Chanel, and it is the one in Peachy Nude. And then I just go over the top with one of the new Lumiere shades. I think this one is Sheer Coral. But everything that I've put on my face today, that will be listed and linked in the description box below. So we'll start off with Peachy Nude. Now I start off with lining my lips, and then I put all of this over as well. Now the reason that I put that lip pencil all over my lips is because the Lumiere lip gloss, it's a gloss, so it's going to wear off. It's very easy to reapply during the day. But if there's a time where it's worn off or nearly worn off, at least you've got a wash of colour underneath. So I just really like that combo, and I love these Lumiere lip maximizers. I think they are just beautiful. Flows one direction. Fishes, they follow the flow. But what if one tried to mention that there was much more? So here is the finished look, and I think this is a beautiful everyday makeup look, and I have worn this exact combo quite a few times over the past couple of months. I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. I really like this Chanel foundation. I think it's beautiful. I think it gives a beautiful finish to the skin, and it works great with my oily skin as well. The Hermes eyeshadow, I am in love with them. As I was saying, I've got 3 of them, and I want to pick up all of them. I think there were 5 or 6 that were released, but however many there were, I am going to eventually get them all. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it just lasts so well during the day, and it blends so beautifully. The Chanel lip and cheek balms are gorgeous. I love the shade. When you first open it up, it does look a little bit intimidating, but if you just go in really softly, you still get that beautiful wash of color. You still get that vibrant coral, but just not too much. Really beautiful. And the Dior Forever Glow Maximizers are just beautiful. I think they are popular with many out there who have purchased them. They are really, really lovely. The combination I just love of the Chanel lip liner, the one in Peachy Nude, and the Lumiere lip gloss. Both together are just beautiful. I just think it gives this sheer wash of color. It is sheer coral, that's what they call it, so you just get a hint of that coral, and if it wears off, because I've got the eyeliner all underneath, I'll still have a little bit of pigment on my lips until I'm able just to reapply the lip gloss. And because it is so sheer, I don't need a mirror to reapply it. It's super easy, and I just think that the formula of those Lumiere lip glosses are really beautiful. So that's it for today's video. I would love it if you gave it a like and subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.